Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Now this video is going to be kind of different. I haven't really done one of these before and we're going to be talking about managers. So I'm sure, as you're aware, Tottenham are without a manager at this current moment in time, and we're just going to be discussing a few options that we have, going through like pros and cons of them. And yeah, so this is going to be who's going to be Tottenham's next manager. So be sure to like, comment and subscribe, and we're just going to get into it. So let's go. So at the moment there are two candidates that are like favourites, and that's Antonio Conte, who has just left Inter Milan, and then there's also Mauricio Pochettino. And Mauricio Pochettino is my preferred option. I'm just going to get out of the way. I would prefer Poch to come back than to have Antonio Conte come in. And then I'm going to get into all that, the pros and cons of both. Antonio Conte first. Let's go with some of the pros. So obviously he is a known winner, winning the Premier League with Chelsea, winning 3 titles with Juventus, and obviously most recently winning the title of Inter Milan. He's a great manager, great coach, and he's known to develop young players into great players. This could potentially help with the rebuild. Moving on to a third pro. Conte wants nothing but to be successful and will do anything needed to win. On to the last pro that I've thought of, tactics. If his original plan doesn't work, then he will always try something different until that does work. So those are the few pros that I came up with that would potentially make Antonio Conte a good manager for Tottenham. And now we're going to move into the negatives, the cons. So I believe that Antonio Conte is a similar manager to Jose, just in the sense of being intense and wants to challenge his players. This kind of management with Jose didn't work with some of the players, and I feel like this could be a similar situation with Conte. Also do play like a similar style, like defensively, and that hasn't really worked for us considering how it started. It was well, but then it turned into a mess. So I feel like there could be a similar situation with Conte if he were to come in. And I also noticed researching, he's not at clubs for too long, and Tottenham need a project manager for a massive rebuild. Is Conte the right manager for a project? I don't know. Because he's always known to instant success, but this won't happen at Spurs because we need a rebuild, and we've seen what happened with Jose. Instant success just isn't going to happen. He has a strong personality, which can get him into trouble with like press, and this could potentially mean he clashes with Daniel Levy if he doesn't get the players he wants or like the money he wants to spend. And do really want friction between the manager and the chairman, especially with like the current situation with like the fans and Daniel Levy and with like the board itself. And my last con for Conte was that he's an ex-Chelsea manager, hasn't worked in the past, so who's to say it will now? And it's unknown if he'll get backed by the board. So if he's not going to get backed by the board, there's no point in bringing him in, because that rebuild needs to happen. And for us to get anywhere, instead of keep going backwards, that rebuild needs to happen sooner rather than later. And we're going to start with the pros. Obviously he knows the club, how it's run and what's needed to take the club forward. The type of manager Tottenham are looking for is a free-flowing, attacking and entertaining football, which is exactly what Spurs' DNA is, and that is Pochettino. We're looking for a Pochettino-like manager, so why not bring in the best thing, Pochettino? Pochettino also has a commitment to promoting young players from the academy. We had that project started 7 years ago when Pochettino first came in, didn't get to finish, and I feel like with Poch's return, a real build could actually happen. Because I feel like if Daniel Levy's thinking about saying bring Poch back, then he must know that he made a massive mistake, and he knows that what Pochettino was saying to him about the rebuild is what needs to happen, and hopefully that will happen if Poch does come in, which I hope he does. And he's also popular among Tottenham supporters who would love to see him return, and players at the club who have had a good relationship with Poch. Potentially could have an effect on whether Kane leaves or stays. I'm not entirely sure if it will, but there's a potential there that could say whether Kane decides, and we still don't know the outcome of that situation yet, which is kind of frustrating, but it's going to go on all summer, isn't it? Bringing Poch back will bring the fans and club back together, reconnecting that relationship, and bringing a feel-good factor back, which is needed because most of the season it has been really negative, and I feel like if we bring that back, that positive feeling, that could change everything around the club. I'm just going to say Poch did not deserve to be sacked in the first place, and Daniel Levy would be righting some wrongs by bringing him back. And I've read that they still have a good relationship, and it worked well in the past when we were at peak Pochettino, so there's no reason to say why it couldn't work again. I believe that Poch is the right manager to bring glory to Tottenham, and he wants to return, which I've read in reports and stuff, so those are all the pros. Now, there are a few cons that I've come up with, so we're going to get into those. Needed a real build, and wasn't listened to by Daniel Levy, as we all know, because he was sacked. Is this going to change if he returns? That is probably one of the main questions. He's only been at PSG for 6 months, and Poch is a project manager, so would be leaving so soon look good on him? Just like after 6 months, is that enough time? So he isn't the type of manager to leave without trying to make things work. Too soon to return to Tottenham, maybe. Still in a similar situation to when he left, and maybe even worse, to be honest. Another question is, will he get the control he's looking for? If you do have any other pros and cons for either Antonio Conte or Mauricio Pochettino, be sure to comment them down below if you feel like it. In case I missed anything, and you know, just let me know in the comments. I'm just going to say who's the right manager I feel like we should go with. So for me, that is Poch. He's my number 1 choice. But I only want him in if he gets backed. He didn't deserve to be sacked in the first place, which is as I've said. For Daniel Levy's incompetence and lack of awareness of how bad the team was. Because obviously, I don't think Tottenham fans realised how bad the team was until this season. And I feel like it's a similar situation with Daniel Levy. And he deserves a chance to finish the project he started. I am, however, trying to not get my hopes up. Failing, but trying. This is a deal that makes sense to happen, and I hope it does. But Poch still having a year left at PSG, it might be better for him to stick it out maybe, and just see if things improve. It is hard to see how this deal could go through unless Poch decides to resign, but he doesn't seem like the type of manager to do that. He could do it if things are really going that badly, and I've heard that reports again that he's annoyed with the structure of the club, so who knows, maybe. The ball is in Pochettino's court, so at the end of the day it is down to him whether he wants to go ahead with that move back to Tottenham. And if he is really interested in returning, I think it is a possibility to happen. I do think that it is unlikely in some senses, but I'm trying to be as positive as I can be without going way over the top. But we'll see. And regarding Conte, I don't think he is the right manager for Tottenham. Obviously, he plays Mourinho-type football, which isn't in our DNA. And Daniel Levy's been going about how getting our DNA back, and that's the main focus of the club going forward. So it wouldn't really make sense to bring in another defensive manager. And obviously he would demand a lot to succeed, and Daniel Levy isn't known for that, so I can't really see that working. And obviously that could cause friction. But however, on the other hand, he is looking for a job, So potentially if Daniel Levy doesn't get Pochettino, then I guess Antonio Conte could be a second choice maybe. And we'll just have to see how it all plays out. But I am praying for a Poch return. Trying to keep a calm head though. Trying. I don't know. It's so hard just to not think about it too much. But I fail because I love Pochettino and I do want him to return. But at the end of the day, it is his decision. And if he decides to stay at PSG, then decides to stay at PSG. There was some news there also that Real Madrid are interested in Pochettino as well. I don't know how true that is. Just some reports I've read. So there's like, because Zidane has left Real Madrid. And so it's like loads of managers like leaving all the same, like around the same time. So it is going to be interesting to see who ends up where. So I do think Conte going to PSG makes sense. Pochettino coming back to Tottenham makes sense. And Allegri is going to Juventus, so that makes sense. And then Zidane probably going to Inter Milan, maybe. I don't know. But do let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you agree with my pros and cons, if you've got any more pros and cons for either manager, or if there's any other managers that you would like to see become Tottenham manager, let me know in the comments below. And I will see you guys soon. I do have my end of season review play ratings coming out soon. That was meant to go up before this, but then all of this manager stuff came out today and I was thinking, well, I better hop on to like the manager stuff quickly because who knows what's going to happen and I didn't want to like miss anything. So I just thought I'd make this video first and then my end of season review play ratings will come out, and there's a few other Tottenham related videos that I'll be uploading soon, and hopefully soon we'll find out who our next manager is, and I'm hoping it's Pochettino. Hoping. So guys, this is gonna go on to the end of my video that I just filmed. So I come off and I'm like rewatching through my video and thinking, okay, we'll edit this tomorrow and upload it. And then I just find out there's like breaking news that Daniel Levy is confident of signing Pochettino back to Spurs for this season. And let me tell you, I look like I'm teary. I can't believe it. I was like, I just filmed this video of potentially the potential of Maurizio coming back, or if it's going to be Antonio Conte, and I'm just like, oh my god, Pochettino is most likely actually going to come back to Spurs. And I'm just so excited. I can't actually believe it. I'm like shocked, but I'm so excited. How am I meant to sleep? How am I meant to sleep knowing this could actually happen? I have no idea what's happening, and I'm just sat here on the sofa and I'm just like, what the hell? And I don't want to get too excited just yet. I feel like I need to leave that for like when the news break, like it's confirmation. But I'm just but I just filmed that video and now I'm gonna have to I'm just gonna add it on the end. But I was not expecting this, and now I'll go to bed because I gotta go work tomorrow. But who knows, maybe by tomorrow we're gonna imagine, oh my god, imagine waking up to the news that Pochettino is now the Spurs manager. But yeah, I have no idea what to say. I'm just too excited for the potential this is happening. And yeah, as I said, end of season review, play ratings coming out soon. Other football related Tottenham videos coming, more reaction stuff, anything. A lot of content coming your way. But yeah, I'm so excited. Pochettino is coming home.